All right, this is the 7th grade quest practice. So this is the quiz test thing that we're going to be taking. The only difference is the numbers are different and it's multiple choice whenever you have to take yours. And so guys, if you understand the process of what I'm doing here, like why I'm doing what I'm doing, you're going to be fine on this test. It should be super easy for you guys. So number 1, it says John uses the chart below for his customers. How much does he charge per hour? Always use change of y over the change of x. This will get you what you are looking for pretty much every single time. This is going to tell us what he charges per hour. So I'm going to look at how much all the y's are changing by first. Well, between 10 and 30, let me do this in red so I match. 10 and 30, 30 and 50, 50 and 70. These changed by 20 each time. Pardon the sloppy handwriting, I'm doing this on my phone. So my change of y is 20. So now my change of x, so I'm going to look over here on the other side. These are changing by 2 each time. So my change of x is 2. So we change $20 goes by every 2 hours. Well, 20 divided by 2 is just 10. So our cost per hour is going to be $10 per hour. Now, I know it's pretty simple to see that if I did 10 divided by 1, I'd get 10. 30 divided by 3, I'd get 10. 50 divided by 5, I'd get 10. 70 divided by 7, I'd get 10. That's pretty easy to see, but that's because this is what's called a proportional situation. They're not always that easy to see, as you'll see on number 2. So number 2 says the chart shows how many apples are gathered from a specific number of trees. How many apples are there per tree? On this one, I can't do 181 divided by 5, 331 divided by 10, 481 divided by 15, etc. It doesn't work on this one. So what you've got to do is you're going to look at your change of y and your change of x again. So here's my change of y. Here's my change of x. Oops, let me do that in blue. So there's my change of x. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at each one of these and see how much these are changing by each time. You can do the subtraction if you need to. I could do 631 minus 481, and I would get 150. And then 481 minus 331, another 150. Each one of these is changing by 150. So my change of y is 150. Now I'm going to look at my changes of x. So each time, let me do this in blue, between 5 and 10, 10 and 15, 15 and 20, each of those changes by 5. So my change of x is 5. And now to find out how many apples there are per tree, it's 150 divided by 5, which is just 30. Now, to be perfectly honest, I had to change the situation up just a little bit. It doesn't match the situation exactly. If there were 30 apples per tree, that means one tree would have 30 apples. That's not the way the situation works, and I'm well aware of that. But this is how I want you guys to find it on the quest that you guys take the next day. So now number 3. The number of place settings of dishes varies directly with the number of boxes. How many place settings are in each box? Multiple ways to do this. I'm going to show you 2. You can look at change of y over change of x. And that will absolutely get you what you're looking for because this is a direct variation. So I'm going to pick 2 points. I'm going to use that one and that one. Well, going straight up from 4 to 8, I've changed by 4. And now I'm going to look at the change of x. Well, from 1 to 2, I've only changed by 1. And 4 divided by 1 is 4, meaning that there are 4 place settings. Because this is a direct variation, and I know it's a direct variation for multiple reasons. If I draw a straight line through all of these, for starters, it's a straight line, and it goes through 0, 0. I can just look right here. For one box, I can see that I have 4 of the place settings, which works perfectly fine. Either way, we get 4 place settings per box. Number 4 on the backside says Loretta paid $6.70 for 5 cans of cat food and $10.72 for 8 cans of cat food. How much did 1 can of cat food cost? You can do this however you feel like. WKUs are perfectly acceptable. If you're not familiar with those or you don't remember those, it's line equals line equals line. Our words, as we were talking about dollars and cans, and they give me 2 different situations here, and it wouldn't matter. So my known, I'm just going to use the first one, would be $6.70 for 5 cans, And what I want to know is how much it costs for 1 can. It really just comes down to $6.70 divided by 5. And if I do 670 divided by 5, I get $1.34 per can. That's supposed to be a dollar sign. Sorry about this terrible, terrible handwriting. And again, if I'd done $10.72 divided by 8, it would still be $1.34 per can. Now for number 5, this one we don't have much of a choice. We got to do WKU on it. It says you need 2 yards of fabric to cover 3 pillows and 6 yards to cover 9 pillows. How much fabric do you need for 15 pillows? So we're trying to figure out that. I mean, our whole question there kind of lays it out for us. How much fabric for 15 pillows? I can either use the 2 yards for 3 pillows, or I can use, let me underline this. I can either use the 2 yards for 3 pillows, or I can use the 6 yards for 9 pillows. I'm going to use the 2 and the 3 because it's simpler numbers, so I'm not even going to mess with that part. So for my WKU, line equals line equals line. So we're talking about yards for pillows. Again, pardon this slappy handwriting. So I know with that 2 and 3, I know it's going to be 2 yards for 3 pillows. And my actual question says, how much do you need to cover 15 pillows? So that's going to be my unknown over here. I want to know how many yards for those 15 pillows. So I can just do cross multiply, divide by the lonely guy, or you can scale up, whatever you prefer. But 2 times 15 would be 30, and then 30 divided by 3 would just be 10. So we need 10 yards in order to do 15 pillows. 6, 7, and 8, pretty much the same gig as before. You can do words known, unknown. You can do so number 6, it says $112 in 8 hours. We are trying to find the unit rate. How much for 1? So it would be my 112, really just 112 divided by 8. If you prefer the proportion, it's going to be x over 1 because we are solving for 1 hour. And again, I'm just going to kind of throw in the rest of the WKU while I've gone this far. We're doing dollars and hours. So I'd cross multiply, divide by the lonely guy, whatever you want to do. It's pretty much 112 divided by 8. And when you do that, you get x is 14, meaning that this person is making whatever, $14 per hour. Number 7, pretty much the exact same thing. I'll do a slightly better WKU. 150 miles in 6 gallons. I'm not sure why it says in. That's totally fine. We'll just do 150 miles for 6 gallons of gas, or using 6 gallons of gas. So we're doing miles. I'm going to do that over. Let's change colors. We'll do gallons here. So what I know is that it's 150 miles for those 6 gallons. And what we want to know is how many miles we can go on 1 gallon. So it's just 150 divided by 6, which comes out to 25. So it's going to be 25 miles per gallon. Last one of these like this. So we're going to do 49 points in 7 games. So we're talking about points. And I'm going to do this over games. So what we know that there are 49 points in 7 games. And what I want to know is how many points in 1 game. So it's really just 49 divided by 7, because 49 times 1 is still 49. So I do 49 divided by 7, and I get 7. So it means that this guy is scoring 7 points per game. The last 2 are back to percent proportions, which is that is over of. So I'm going to write is over of is always going to be a percent out of 100. So I can set both of these up without really doing too much yet. I can do line equals line over 100, and line equals line over 100. Now to focus on number 9 first. So it says, what number is? That is the thing that we are looking for first. I'm trying to remember what colors I used on this already, so I want to make sure I do. Okay, so I used is for blue. So it says, what number is, meaning this is what we are looking for. 20%, that's our percentage. That's always going to go over 100. And it says of 625. So cross multiply, divide by the lonely guy, however you want to do it. x, when I multiply 625 times 20, so I'm doing is multiplying those two, and then dividing by 100. When you work that one out, you end up getting 125 for x. Meaning that 125 out of 625, that 125 is 20% of the 625. And then number 10 says 50% of what number is 26. So there's my 50%. I'm going to go ahead and put that over the 100. So there's my 50. It says of what number? Of goes on the bottom. That is what we're looking for. And it says is 26. Now let's cross multiply, divide by the lonely guy, meaning that you can multiply these two and then divide by 50. And when I do that, I get x is going to be 52. If you have any other questions on this stuff, guys, you are going to have to come pester me. I want you to do really well on this next, we're calling it a quiz, but it's going to count as a test grade. So I want you guys to do well on this thing. Come ask questions if you got them.